Hello and welcome to our 25 News Now November preview for the upcoming general election. This is based on unofficial results from the March 1st primary election from Tuesday evening. In the race for U.S. Congress District 27, Michael Cloud, the incumbent, is in the lead with 75% of votes. A.J. Louderback, the former sheriff of Jackson County, gained 10% of votes. Chris Mapp, a self-employed candidate, earned 7% of votes. Eric Mireles, an oil and gas consultant, had 4% of votes. Andrew Alvarez, who works in the auto industry, gained 4% of votes. And District 27 includes Victoria, Lavaca, Jackson, Calhoun, Refugio, Goliad, and DeWitt counties. Leading Democrats in District 27 is Maclovio Perez Jr. with 65% of votes, followed by Anthony J. Tristan, a tax consultant, earning 23% of votes. And finally, Victor Melgoza, a medical doctor, he gained 12% of votes. For Victoria County Clerk, incumbent Heidi Easley came out ahead against Brandy Schusterite. Easley led with 68% of votes, and Schusterite trailed with 32% of votes. In Victoria County Precinct 2, in that county commissioner race, Kevin Yunok came out with 44% of votes behind Jason Ort, who garnered 48% of votes. Zed Stewart followed with 5% of votes, and Jeanette Valdez had 3% of votes, a close race that could be headed to the runoffs. In the race for Victoria County Commissioner Precinct 4, we have Kenneth Sexton leading with 52% of votes against the incumbent Clint Ives, who gained 48% of votes. In the race for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4, we have Micah Patton trailing behind at 40%, and the incumbent candidate John G. Miller leading with 60% of votes. In DeWitt County, two candidates for the race for DeWitt County Commissioner in Precinct 2, Ken Eilers with 42% of votes, and leading was James Pilchek, the incumbent, at 58%. In the race for DeWitt County Commissioner in Precinct 4, you have Republicans Brian Carson and Richard Randall. The incumbent, Carson, led with 56% of votes, and Randall trailed with 44%. For Justice of the Peace in Precinct 4 in DeWitt County, we have Selena Condi versus the incumbent, Peggy Mayer. Mayer came out on top with 66% of votes, and Condi trailed with 34% of votes. Governor Greg Abbott wants to win a third term to office, and he may do that with 69% of votes Tuesday night. And Alan B. West in second with 12% of votes, Don Huffines at 10% of votes, and Candy K. Horn at 1% of total votes. A total of 8 candidates were on that Republican ballot. In the Democratic Party primary for governor, Beto O'Rourke came out on top with 93% of votes, Joy Diaz with 4%, Michael Cooper with 1.5% of votes, and Rich Wakeland with 1% of votes. Here are the important dates you need to know for this upcoming November general election. Election day will be Tuesday, November 8th, and the last day to register to vote will be Tuesday, October 11th. The first day of early voting will be on Monday, October 24th, and the last day to apply for a ballot by mail will be Friday, October 28th. Thank you for tuning in, and for updates and the latest on the November general election, come to crossroadstoday.com. Have a great week.